Hi guys, this is Dr. Porter. This is our little quick lecture on poetry and some of the concepts of poetry. You're going to see here I used part of the poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. I'm going to provide a link in the class website so you can look at that poem as well. I like to use this poem a lot because it shows all kinds of little different literary elements we can use in our own poetry and the things that we need to think about. So you'll see here I've got the use of colors, okay? And we have the first two lines of the poem. Once up on a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. Now, notice those little red marks up there. That indicates meter, and your Understanding Poetry handout explains meter in a lot more detail, so please look that over. But one of the things I want to show you is the fact that meter demonstrates a stressed and unstressed syllables of a poem, a song, lyrics, those kind of things. This means unstressed, the little U shape. The little dash means stressed. So when we have a one-syllable word, depending on where it falls in the poem, the line of the poem or the lyric of music, depends on how it is it's going to be stressed or unstressed. So think about this. We say up on. We don't say up, or excuse me, we don't say up on. So that's what we look at. If you look in the dictionary, you're going to see these kind of little marks that help you pronounce a word. Okay? So you can see there's a pattern here. And we have this lovely little pattern of multiple elements. And I'm going to kind of break them apart so you can see. So we have an unstressed and a stressed, unstressed and a stressed, unstressed and stressed, unstressed and stressed. You get the point, I'm sure. Don't want to hear it all. Okay? And if you look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I missed one. 2. This is 7 and 8. Okay? That is an octometer. When we use something that is unstressed and stressed together, that is called iambic meter. Again, most of this is explained in the handout, but I want to show you this because it's important to understand how you write your sonnet. Okay? Octometer means there's 8 groupings of unstressed and stressed syllables. Okay? It's a little different from the second one, but you can do the same thing. However, if you look at this poem, every line in this poem, line 1 is going to follow the 8 lines as well as line 3. Okay? He's got a very strong pattern in this poem. Now, another thing to think about when we look at meter is, think about this. It kind of resembles the human heartbeat. Bump, 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 bump. So when we listen to music, and I really encourage you to listen to your music as you're listening to or finish up with this little lecture, is to go back in and try to find these little elements. Okay. Secondly, we have a rhyming pattern by stanza, and that the rhyming pattern is the last word in each line. And this one here is weary. This one here is lore. Okay. So stanza 1, the last word is weary, lore, tapping door, door, more. Again, there's a pattern. And what we do is we kind of break it apart and put an A, a B, because that's a different rhyming word. C, that's a different rhyming word from the other two. And then B, 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 those all go back to lore. And again, you'll see, December doesn't match any of these over here. We have B, again, here, borrow, okay, Lenore, Lenore, Lenore. Patterns, rhyming patterns are also necessary depending on the type of poem. And that is explained in more details in the handout as well. Finally, in this particular poem, he has internal rhyme. If you look here, in lines 1 and 3 of every stanza in this poem, there is internal rhyme, dreary and weary rhyme. Okay? And then we have That's lines 1 and 3. Lines 2 and 4 always have the line B and B, and then 5 and 6 does as well. So he uses internal rhyme in 1 and 3 of every stanza, and then he rhymes with or in the B ones. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit, because when you write your sonnet, you're going to have to use iambic, what's called iambic pentameter. So you're going to have an unstressed and stressed syllable, and every word, every line has to have at least 10 syllables or 5 groupings of unstressed and stressed. In your sonnet, you're going to have to follow an A-B rhyming pattern for the first stanza, a C-D rhyming pattern for the second stanza. There's only going to be 4 lines per stanza, etc. And again, that's provided in one of the handouts about the sonnet. You don't have to have internal rhyme, but it's important to understand that that does exist. That concludes our quick little brief understanding of how poetry is put together. We're going to talk more about it when we do our Kaiser Live sessions as well, and those will be scheduled, and you'll get an email for those later on today or tomorrow. Thanks.